Is it me? Or does it almost seem like the cards are stacked against us? When not even a court decision makes an impact on a regulator's opinion, you know you're dealing with a bad faith regulator.
And so nothing any court would say would change your mind on
that? I wish something a court could say which would actually bring the compliance sooner.
That no matter what happens, their minds are already made up. CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, reveals exactly what they tried to do to him and what they're trying to do to the industry.
I think what their true intention or belief is behind the scenes, and I'm speculating a little bit here, is they just don't want it to exist. And so they're trying to cast a shadow over the whole industry to make it difficult. They're just sending subpoenas and Wells notices.
Why don't they want it to exist? Why?
I believe it's because, and again, this is just me speculating a little bit, I think it's because they don't want to lose power. They think the government should run financial services. They have their hooks into the big banks. They can pressure the big banks to close accounts on, if you have the wrong political opinion or you're in the wrong industry, you're in oil and gas or whatever the flavor of the day is. They want to be able to pressure companies because they can't get it done through Congress. They want to pressure it through the big banks. And crypto, in America, people should be free to have control of their own money, to use new technologies. It's fundamentally anti-American what they're doing, and I think next year in the elections we need to make sure that all voters and people who are pro-innovation, pro-technology vote people out of office who are trying to curtail our freedoms around crypto.
And I see comments like this, and I just have to think, this is what's really happening. I'm sorry, but we know they do this. We know they do this. They create fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market so they can buy low.
The oldest trick in the book. If you want to buy a lot of something, what do? You shit on it. Right? When George Soros wanted to corner the market in copper, right? What did he do? He didn't go out and buy a bunch of copper. He went out and sold a bunch of copper and spread rumors that copper was going to zero. Then you swoop in and buy a whole bunch after the price collapses.
I have some good news. The same man, the same congressional hero who shut Gary Gensler down, held his feet to the fire.
The biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir, reclaiming my time. You were. Does it concern you that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
Trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws.
You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans.
This same man is fighting for crypto holders' freedoms every day. In fact, America's freedoms every day, people's freedoms. This is just one of the bills congressional heroes like him are trying to pass. The anti-CBDC bill. Pay very close attention to how he explains it. Listen to what he says at the end. He gets it.
Extremely proud to have this legislation that, frankly, I've been working on for 3 years at least. The CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act included in your markup today. It's the first anti-central bank digital currency legislative effort introduced in the United States, and for the past 2 Congresses. And we've worked with my colleagues and with stakeholder groups to update, improve, and grow support for this bill. Today, this bill has the support of 60 members of Congress and groups ranging from the Independent Community Bankers Association and American Bankers Association to Club for Growth, Heritage Action, and the Blockchain Association. We've come a long way. This bill is simple. It halts the efforts of this administrative state under President Biden from issuing a financial surveillance tool that will undermine the American way of life. Unlike decentralized cryptocurrencies, a central bank digital currency is a digital form of sovereign currency that is designed and issued by a government and transacts on a digital ledger that is controlled by that government. In short, a central bank digital currency is a government-controlled, programmable money that, if not designed to emulate cash, could give the federal government the ability to surveil and restrict Americans' transactions. This is not just alarming, it's downright un-American. We've already seen examples of governments weaponizing their financial system against their citizens. In China, the Communist Party is using a central bank digital currency to track the spending habits of its citizens. The data is being used to create a social credit system that rewards or punishes people based on their behavior. Closer to home, in the Western Hemisphere in Canada, the Trudeau administration froze the bank accounts of individuals involved in the 2022 trucker protests. That might work in Canada, that doesn't work here. This appetite for financial surveillance may be gaining a stronghold, unfortunately, right here at home. The White House issued an executive order placing urgency on central bank digital currency research and development, and the agency reports to that executive order have made it clear that the Biden administration is not only itching to create a CBDC, but they are willing to trade Americans' right to financial privacy for a surveillance-style central bank digital currency. We're not going to let this happen. My bill ensures the United States digital currency policy is in the hands of the American people, not the administrative state, so that it reflects our American values of privacy, individual sovereignty, and free market competitiveness. American values. This is what the future global digital economy needs. If not open, permissionless, and private like cash, just like cash, a central bank digital currency is nothing more than a CCP-style surveillance tool that can be weaponized to oppress the American way of life. If China embraces it, you know it's something worth standing against in this country. I'd like to welcome all of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to support this bill, which protects innovation and defends against an ever-expanding government surveillance state. Thank you again, Chairman McHenry and Congressman Hill, for working with me on this legislation, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Guys, crypto is here to stay. Open your eyes. Just this past week in Toronto, the energy was electric for this Chainlink event. If you're interested in the latest updates for Chainlink, watch our video from the other day, this one. I'll share with you a clip that actually wasn't in this video the other day. Listen to the Chainlink leadership themselves give their thoughts on Chainlink as it stands today and their takeaways over their event from the past week.
Well, it's been an amazing 4 days here in Toronto at Sibos. We've met with well over 60 banks, financial market infrastructure providers, and potential partners.
This year, we've executed on our massive successful pilot with SWIFT and 12 other financial institutions that are here at the conference. And this has afforded us just great social proof of working with a great partner with SWIFT. And a lot of these financial institutions are looking at what we did in that pilot and seeing how CCIP can connect and allow assets to travel to different blockchains.
The industry is ready for tokenization. They also recognize the fact that CCIP is the most secure way in which they can perform that. They can actually move their assets from Web 2 to Web 3.
The demand for CCIP is palpable.
These institutions are realizing for these ecosystems to work, you need CCIP to connect all of these different workflows to make capital markets work in a more efficient way.
Subscribe to our channel, join our team. We keep you updated on crypto every day. If you want to meet up with us and come to a crypto event and hang out with like-minded people, this is where we'll be in October. Come hang. Hey, join us at Bitcoin Amsterdam October 12th and 13th. This is an epic Bitcoin conference. Use code AltcoinDaily, 10% off tickets. Get this ticket or get this ticket. Ticket prices increase as we get closer to the event. So many awesome speakers are being added every single day. Use code AltcoinDaily for 10% off. Hope to see you there.